Club Foundation. We are live here at the Rock Club Foundation. Not really, but we are doing this pre speech again. Yesterday, I guess, was just a practice. This is because the internet wasn't really working too well, and we was tired and a little bit grumpy, but we are in better spirits today, aren't we, sweetie?
Mm-hmm.
And we are wanting to tell you about alternative fuels and a lot of really great information. So, is this the end of is this the prohibition of petroleum? And is is the prohibition of petroleum coming? Or
So, are we seeing the end of fossil fuel use, or what about engines in general? Let's talk about this. Please like, subscribe, and share. The end of fossil fuel is now coming faster than a lot of people are willing to admit, and even faster than a lot of us are ready for. We are hitting the peak of fossil fuel usage, and the decline of fossil fuel uses is happening because of the advancement of technology. We are not going to be using oil by the end of our generation. In our lifetime, a lot will be changing. The Stone Age did not end because we ran out of rock, but things are not changing fast enough. We are destroying our planet faster than people are changing. We've got to act now in order to save the planet. A lot of environmentalists say that we have less than 5 to 10 years to give up fossil fuels before the planet is destroyed.
wow, that's really so. Basically, what we were saying there was that the fossil fuel industry is pretty much coming to the end, and not because we're running out of oil, that's a big reason. We've been running out of oil since the 1960s, right? And the advancement of older technology has been working with trying to figure out how we're gonna get more and more oil, even though it's been an entire uphill battle. The fact is that there is better and cheaper and more efficient ways, and that are more environmentally friendly and better for everything than oil. But the oil companies don't want us to know that because they want to hold us addicted to their technologies. And they've been trying to do so since the beginning of the century. And I will be getting into more of that at the end of the video.
We are going to be discussing the history of the industrialization and gasoline. And also, we're talking about different types of fuel sources that might be used in the future or are being experimented with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he saw a video of you on Facebook?
Oh yeah, we just did a video earlier today on Facebook.
I was modeling. I was taking photos of myself, George.
Yeah,
and I was making faces some of the time too.
Out there,
it's kind of hilarious. I was like being an actor.
Yeah, out there in nature was so much fun. We should go more out in nature and spend more time outside. We also should enjoy and love Mother Earth that we all live in, and do everything that we can to protect it. All right, what is it?
Oh yeah, because it looked funny. Oh my god, some of the faces I made were funny.
So let's stay in topic. So anyways, it's like I was saying, that it's really so we're going to be talking about a lot of the histories, a lot of the history involved with every the fossil fuels and whether or not say. And I don't know, and we need to be ready. We need to be ready for the change in technologies, because the technology is going quicker than a lot of people will believe or really want to. So.
Okay, next thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, it's really important for us to experiment with these technologies. It's good to have diversity that will help with sustainability. Gasoline-powered cars are the most common power our society uses because it takes fuel and converts it into mechanical energy most effectively. Batteries are almost 13 times more dense than gasoline and 50 times the weight. But other fuels are just as dense and capable as gasoline, if not more, and can be run very similar to gasoline. Batteries are expensive and not very sustainable.
Yeah, so basically what we were saying, so battery, yeah, so if you take there was a really good video where we saw where a guy took a bunch of cans of Coke, right? And he compared cans of Coke to gasoline, and he talked about how it had 13 times more volume than, and 50 times the weight in order to...
He wants me to make some of my faces, so I'm trying to... I think I went like... or something like that.
Yeah, so...
I went like... something like that.
Yeah. It's
I don't
okay.
know, I'm trying to imitate it, and then I was like...
Well, get it. Well, that better than you just being looking tired. At least you're not looking tired today. So, like we did in the last video. If you can please stay on topic.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking for the next funny face. He says he's howling. Okay, so electric car manufacturers are doubling in size every year, producing more and more electric cars. Tesla is one of the best stocks to buy because of this. A lot of times we are fixing one problem and creating another.
So electric car companies are doubling in size every year, and that's why it is going to be the end of fossil fuels. Will you close the door for me, please? Thank you. So that's why it's going to be the end of fossil fuels. It's going to be the end of fossil fuels because the electric car companies are literally doubling in size every year. Next 20, 30 years, we're supposed to be, the majority of vehicles on the that are going to be electric, and and it's going to be crazy though, or at least newer vehicles. But the fact is that batteries are not sustainable. They're bad for the environment. Take a lot of work to dig out of the ground. And that's why it's good to have. Cause the thing that we don't understand, the thing that people don't realize, that there's a carbon cycle, right? I didn't put this in here, and I should have thought about it. But there's a carbon cycle, and there is. So basically, what happens is when we pump oil out of the ground, it get put into the air, right? And into the environment. Well, and then plants have a hard time keeping up and breathing in, right? Mm-hmm. But when we use plants that are grown that equate a carbon, that stay within a carbon cycle, right? And we can use waste streams, right? So there's another thing that endangering the carbon cycle is that the fact that we're not using our waste carbons, that all the methane and all the CO2 that is being put in the air, that we are not using that, but instead of we using new other fuels that we're pumping out of the ground, and we're not using our waste streams properly to dispose of the carbon gas properly, or the methane. And so that's why so the next paragraph, that Elon Musk is putting rockets in space using methane gas, which methane gas is a natural gas, is made either from chemical processes or manufacturer, or most commonly used from waste plants and stuff. And so what does it say next?
Okay. Elon Musk is putting rockets into space using methane gas, and maybe that's the future of transportation.
Yeah. And then next.
Car companies and engine manufacturers need to start realizing the importance of alternative fuels. There's only so much gasoline on the planet, and it's destroying it too. It's getting more expensive as well. If they don't start using alternative fuels, they're going to go bankrupt.
So basically, I mean, even though like pretty much, so the car companies are in bed with the oil companies, and so much that they're not realizing that that they are that they making their own energy and the advantages of that. Which they do understand that because they're in the business of it, but the fact that they are unwilling to use anything other than fossil fuels to run their cars, because they're kind of just stuck in their ways. Um, Yeah, what? Yeah, people say that we like when they just hang out. Well,
And they say, and the car and oil company is being in bed together is bad just as long as one of them does. Oh gosh, jeez, do you have to say such weird stuff? Gosh, did you see that? I'm not gonna read it out loud.
I don't know why people.
Come on, people, can you at least be eloquent?
Why is there only 2 people on here?
Yeah, really.
Is it because we're using your phone and not mine?
Why? How is my phone bad?
I don't know. That doesn't make no sense either. Yeah.
I thought I had a nice phone.
Maybe because they already heard the speech yesterday.
But maybe some other subscribers of yours will hear it.
Is it really that boring? Is it that it's important stuff? Your stream is
Your stream is coming in good.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be lots of reasons. Maybe people are out busy. I don't know. Eating. Who knows?
So, So, it's really important for car manufacturers to figure out ways to reintroduce new technologies. You don't have a clue, do you, Eric? I don't have a clue why nobody cares about this stuff. This stuff is really important. This is a future of our society. I mean, people need to take it seriously. You guys, maybe because nobody liked the video. That's what it really is. Everybody have to like the video, okay? Nobody liked the video. Nobody shared it. That's what it is. So we are just going to sit here. Alright, we're going to pause the video until somebody...
They may not recognize this as being a new screen because of the thumbnail you used yesterday.
Yeah, because we doing the video. Maybe I should have done a new thumbnail. But yeah, so alternative fuel cars and also ICE is internal combustion engines. Flammable that are flammable source can be converted or used. So we can use other forms of
Engines that run on a flammable fuel source that can be converted or used inside an engine. Gas is the most common in a gasoline-powered car we can use. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so exactly. Eating beans will give you gas, and then maybe you can power your car on your farts or your poop. Yeah, what did it say?
Okay. ICE gas power car can be converted or reconfigured to run on other types of fuels. This is very important because the majority of cars run on our gas, and the manufacturers of our cars have better knowledge of how to make engines. And in order to compete with electric cars, they might have to adopt other fuel sources.
So basically, you know, a lot of these cars they've been doing research for a long time, and they fitting out better and more, you know, more fuel efficient ways of making cars run and you know, reliably on, you know, and make their own fuel, which it could be cheaper. I mean, natural gas is actually cheaper than electricity, and it could be more efficient because the fact that so with way more efficient because the fact that you're making your own fuel, making your own energy, instead of just buying the energy from somebody else that made it from, you know, natural gas or solar panels or whatever. What? What does it say?
Okay, so methanol or ethanol is the most similar fuel to gasoline, and all gasoline-powered cars could run a high percentage of ethanol in the car, and some can run totally off ethanol with no conversion. A lot of cars need to be retuned or recomputered to run more than 50% ethanol because car manufacturers are designed not to run ethanol. Actually, I think it's supposed to say cars, not car manufacturers.
Yeah, many car manufacturers. Yeah, car manufacturers
are designed like the way they operate their business.
Yeah.
Like their rules.
Yeah.
Okay. Car manufacturers.
Yeah, manufacturers. Yeah.
Design the cars.
Design the cars. Yeah. Do not run on ethanol. Yeah, so a lot of car manufacturers design their cars not to run on ethanol because they embed with the oil companies and they don't want to use alternative fuels, even though it's completely capable of doing so. You guys, a lot of times you can put 50% or more fuel in your car. The problem is that if you put more than 50% in your car start to recognize that the fact that it's not gasoline and start acting funny. Older cars are, sometimes they don't want to be right because of the fact that definitely does need a little bit of different tuning to run ethanol than gasoline effectively. What did it say?
I have a E85 car. It gets 10 mpg. We should put a solar panel on Michelle's new violin go up again. Whenever she gets one, so she can have an electric sound to it.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, it get 10 miles a gallon. So you got an EV5 car that get 10 miles a gallon. I mean, that's probably big, like a big truck or something, hopefully. And yeah, but the good thing about it, it's cheaper than gasoline most of the time, and it's better for the environment. So even if, do you get your bus going? No, we still haven't got my bus going. We still trying to get the bus going. We still gotta fit out our whole thing. Okay, so.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting for you to read the next paragraph.
Well, I was trying to make sure that cord didn't get destroyed. So some cars that are manufactured are designed to run more poorly when they know they are running on ethanol, which would be the demise of the whole industry.
Yeah, so we already kind of talked about that. What's the next thing you're supposed to say?
Methane and natural gas is the cheapest type of fuel. Methane can be produced from any type of waste. Just cow poop in the US alone is enough methane to power all the cars on the planet, as well as chicken poop and all other types of animal farming and people. On top of this, all the garbage dumps or other materials that are decomposing are also creating methane gas. If methane isn't used, it will be released into the environment and the air, creating global warming more so than CO2.
So basically, yeah, methane gas is I talked about before is the number one produced fuel by accident because everything that we do results from methane gas, and we have to dispose of it, and by disposing of it, it just go back in the air, and then we on top of us putting all the methane gas and CO2 in the air from all the animal farming and everything else. We also putting CO2 from all our cars from a natural source out of the ground. So that's what disrupting the. So if we able to use methane gas or methane or natural gas, that we able to create a carbon cycle that is clean and renewable, and that we can, and so, and there are a lot of technology that we can do with that. Michelle, it's time for fun. Yeah. If you guys want more funny faces, you gotta like the video, okay? Michelle, give them a funny face every time they like the video.
One yawn. Oh.
Nope, they gotta like the video for a funny face. Okay, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Michelle gonna give one funny face for every like. Right now, there's only one like, so I see there's one like. So you can't always tell me you like the video. I can see how many likes there are. Maybe your phone is lying about how many people are on here. So anyway, CO2. And it's a really big issue, like people, because people don't realize how awesome methane gas could be. The biggest problem with it is that it's not as dense as gasoline. But it's more dense than electricity. But you could use a natural gas fuel cell. So yeah. Mountain Dew can make from fossil fuels. Yeah. I agree. What did it say?
I agree. It's weird that so few people are watching.
Yeah, well, please like, subscribe, and share. Well, because you didn't like the video. Well, anyways, so methane gas, the most energy in batteries, what does it say?
The most electricity or battery power, electric-powered cars need to get their power from somewhere, a lot of times using engines to produce the power.
Okay. So yeah, so even electric cars, you have to get their power from somewhere. So sometimes they even use engines and natural gas to put the energy in, so you kind of like, so it's more efficient for you to do it directly than indirectly. What did it say?
It's a great picture of the only thing is that it's bad. Okay, it was a grammar error. Is that it's the same one that was due yesterday, and people probably don't realize that this is a live stream.
Yeah.
You should have used one of Michelle's modeling poses.
No, it's because people are not liking the video. Okay, I guess we're just going to end the live stream since nobody liking the video.
I think we have like 3 or 2 sentences left, maybe.
No, we just going to end it because nobody liking the video.
Okay.
You guys, have you guys liked the video yet? No? Okay, we're going to come back when people like the video. Alright, we are back. Thank you for everybody liking the video. Yeah, so, please like, subscribe, and share. Please like. So, where were we? What is it?
I think we're right here. I'm pretty sure.
We was meth. Yeah,
Or maybe
yeah.
how about if I start off right here? On top of all of this, all the garbage dumps or other materials that are decomposing are also creating methane gas. If methane isn't used, it will be released into the environment and the air, creating global warming more so than CO2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. There's nothing you want to say about that?
Okay. No. Yeah. I always said it. Okay.
Okay. So alternative refining process, there's that we want to talk about, such as gasification. You can turn solid or other types of fuels into liquid or gas fuels, like turning wood into gas, or turning plastics into a liquid, or turning trash into crude oil. That all can be done locally by individual people or commercially.
So I experimented in the past turning solids like wood into. So not only could you get the methane gas that you get out of trash dumps and stuff that made, using whatever it is, we can get the so we can whatever it is we get from the trash dumps or whatever. I mean, you can go out to a frozen lake and quick break the ice and get methane gas, So it's a natural forming thing. But sometimes we have to do like actual like mad scientist things that we can alternative forms of refinery, right? So we can actually like use gasification, turn wood into gas, right? Cracking the carbon down, because everything is carbon, everything is hydrogen, everything is which is the same thing, right? Everything is made of very similar things, right? So we just converting one form of the material into another form of the material through alternative refining processes. We can turn trash into crude oil. We can turn plastics into diesel fuels or kerosene. We can turn we can crack the carbons down. We formulate the carbons. A lot of these things could be done. And it could be done cheaply and more effectively than we think. We can turn wood into paper, which is I talked to the stoners, and like yesterday was funny because on the last live stream, people was talking about turning weed into fuel, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's quite something.
That as you could build this thing that resembles a giant bong, and on the back of your car you can be burning weed or other fuels and making fuel, which just sounds like a pot idea, but yeah. So yeah. Welcome.
What fell into the desk? You got 5 likes.
Yeah, we got 5 likes. Thank you guys for
Actually, I thought you had 6 before.
I know, people must be unliking, but okay.
Wait, what does this say? Oh, Michelle, do you know what time it is? Time for a funny face.
Oh, time for all right. One like for every funny face.
I could wipe my hands and stick my finger in my mouth. Go like,
Okay. Most electric cars are powered by other sources of energy. So that's what we really need to do, is that we should be making the fact that, you know, if you want an electric car, usually it'd be one off other cars, other sources of energy. So that's why it's good to be in charge of your own energy, you know? Put energy in your own hand. I was talking about another video that I was talking about is that it's cheaper to produce your own power than for a power plant to produce power for you, right? It's cheaper for you to buy a windmill or a solar panel and produce the power of yourself than to buy it from somewhere else. It costs more because, like, this thing, economics is that the a plan this return, because the more that they have to produce, more it costs to produce. So things cost if things are cheaper on a small level.
Okay.
So, like, small windmills are cheaper to produce than big windmills. Because they can produce more of them, and each one is cheaper to produce, and they mass produce.
I don't know if the caffeine is making me yawn. Hopefully
Small
not.
windmills. And so that's like, and so you gotta get gas now. Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Hit
How much gas do we have?
What, in a car?
Yeah.
Not very much.
Oh.
Ethanol. Yeah, what did it say? Yeah,
but there's a larger windmill produce more energy.
Okay, so a larger windmill produce more energy, right? But it's all come down to dollar per watt. So, so let's look that up. How much does a megawatt windmill cost?
Woo.
So megawatt windmill costs $2.2 million to produce, right?
To make it?
Yeah. So make a windmill that produces 1 million watts costs $2.2 million, right?
I don't understand how that could be so expensive. Couldn't you even make it out of wood? No?
Well, that's a big, huge industrial windmills that are like humongous, right? Right? Hey, you know what I'm talking about? Like the ones that are the size of like skyscrapers.
Yeah, but I didn't... Really? That big?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like crazy.
Yeah. They like building skyscrapers. Like that's why they cost so much.
I didn't think it would be that expensive.
There's really $2.2 million. That is $2.2 per kilowatt, right? And so if you think about, okay, windmill for sale. So right now, here's a 4 kilowatt windmill.
I mean, that doesn't look wooden. I would think wood would be less expensive.
Yeah, here's a 5 kilowatt windmill.
It's like $5,000.
Yeah. Here's a 1,000 watt windmill. A 1,000 watt windmill for $250 from Walmart.com. So that's 25 cents per watt, right? Compared to $2 a watt for a megawatt windmill. So that's why it's like, that's the whole like idea that it's cheaper to do it individually than to do it commercially, right? Like, where are you guys going to put a windmill on top of your...
Yes, if you're going to.
On top of your... What did it say?
The Caprice.
We are selling the Caprice. Because nobody donate... No, we tried to auction it off, and we asked the person that won the car if they wanted it, and they said no. So...
I think it'd be cool to get a Jeep. Personally.
And they told me to keep it. So the person that ran the auction told me to keep it. So we are selling the car.
Okay, so what do you want to say about this?
What does it say?
The most electricity or battery power? I'm not sure what you meant to say.
So most electric cars are battery power. They you know, that's what, and then what is it? What does it say next?
Oh, okay, maybe that's what you meant. Electric powered cars need to get their power from somewhere, a lot of times using engines to produce the power.
Yeah. So other forms of storing energy is okay, other forms of storing energy is okay. Other form of storing is air power, hydrogen power, spring power. I mean, there's a lot of other ways that you store energy that is, you know, you know, to be able to put in the car, like storage of energy. The thing is that the hydrogen. So cool thing about hydrogen power is that you can make fuel cells, right? Fuel cells are pretty much the same idea as a battery. They take chemical energy and they convert it into electrical energy, right? And the thing about fuel cells is they instead of you charging up instead of you charging up the the chemicals so it can be used later, you inputting new chemical into the equation, right? You're inputting a new source of energy, such as hydrogen or CO2, you know, or hydrogen or other fuel sources such as methane gas. Basically, what it does is how fuel cells work is they have a membrane, right? Have a membrane that the atom, the nucleus of it can pass. The nucleus of the oxygen atom can pass through the nucleus, and then combining with the carbon and hydrogen on the other side, and the electrons will flow through, creating energy and the wires. So it's like splitting the atoms into energy, and it's really interesting. But it works really interestingly well. But and so the fact that the oxygen would travel through the membrane is the reason that you could use anything that contained hydrogen or carbon, and it could travel through the membrane to the other side. So you can use any form of fuel to create the chemical reaction that produce the energy. So you can use ethanol, you can use methane gas, you can use propane, you can use like a wide range of fuels and a fuel cell to produce energy. Eric, this is very interesting. What does it say?
Eric is very intelligent.
So yeah. So yeah. So and the fuel cells are being produced in factories. They also are also made by locally through like 3D printers. You can buy these different type of fuel cells, and like I say, the fuel cells are actually more efficient. And so like there's the company called Watt that decided that they're trying to sell fuel cells that are cheaper than they can't claim that you can buy a fuel cell the size of a microwave, put it in your house, and you can make power cheaper yourself than you can buy at the power plant from natural gas.
He does come out with pretty smart stuff.
And the fact that you can buy it, so imagine you have a natural gas fuel cell my idea is that you put a natural gas fuel cell in your car, right? A natural gas, so the natural gas have, so the fact that the first electric car had a cumulative of like 2 gallons of gas, right? So you have a natural gas tank in your car that holds several gallons of natural gas. You can go 1,000 miles on 1,000 miles of range, and then instantly refilled the tank with natural gas. Cheaper than the cost of electricity. I mean this. Yeah, this. And then you could plug, when you get back to your house, you can plug, because everybody got natural gas going pipe to their house. You can plug, you plug you hook up the line to your car, and you charge up not only your car, but your entire house. Your entire house, and now is being fed off your car, and now you are saving money on the energy costs by having this car in your driveway, producing energy. And if you can't buy energy from the power, if you can't buy natural gas from the power grid, then you can have your neighborhood. You can have your neighborhood, or individually have a separate tank producing your own methane gas. So you have a separate tank that you put your poop and pee and all your food waste down, your garbage disposal into the a septic system, and then it produces your methane gas yourself, and then you can and it will be compressed and stored in your car, and then you have what did it say?
Didn't they have natural gas powered vehicles in Detroit? I will sell you a Honda Civic powered by natural gas. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Honda Civic. So, I mean, natural gas vehicles are not uncommon. You can convert any gasoline-powered car to any car to run natural gas or electric. I mean, you could put put a electric vehicle. You can put a fuel cell in it. A gas-powered car, you could put a new fuel cell, like a tank, and then piping to the engine, and a couple of new configurations. The fuel system costs about they depend on the car, like a couple $100, and the tank costs a couple $100 for probably about $1,000 you can put any engine to run on natural gas. And your car could run on gasoline in case you can't put out any way to get a hold of natural gas. You can always you still have your gasoline fuel system available to run either. And with a little bit of conversion, you can also run on ethanol. So the fact is that the car manufacturers need to start waking up and realizing that the fact that they have technology to be that they need to start putting money into natural gas technology and ethanol, because they're going to just lose a lot of ground. On this gasoline, which I understand gasoline is probably the cheapest way to produce energy. The only reason the gasoline costs so much is supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
Which also don't make a lot of sense, because the gasoline, one of the things that even if the costs go up, the demand doesn't really go down that very much. You know, what did it say?
Hobotech could port power a
Hobotech, yeah. Hobotech could power a car with
Jackery products.
Yeah. So Jackery products are using batteries like the same batteries that they have in like Tesla cars. Literally the same exact battery. So pretty much Tesla is like buying up all batteries on the planet. Like they're pretty much buying up all the battery manufacturers. Which is kind of like crazy. Like so all like because of Tesla is like the biggest consumer of batteries on the planet. Like majority of batteries that are produced is for Tesla cars, and so like Tesla car batteries are now like they what you call it is like the industry standard. Yeah. And so yeah, so even if you buy another electric car, you still buying Tesla batteries. So it's like, yeah.
Did you cover? How much did you cover of this?
What it was? Okay, what we read the next one. Well, it is a Tesla is a Jackery. Yeah. So is Tesla a Jackery car? Yes. Tesla is like a Jackery. Yes. Tesla is a Jackery car. So Jackery is yeah. Yeah, pretty much the same battery. They use pretty much the same battery. I bet if you like does what if you did like if you totally like took an axe like what Inside People did and cut open a Jackery product, you open up and you find batteries for a Tesla car, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a Tesla battery in the Jackery. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's a new standard. You cut open a Jackery product, and there was I'm 50% sure that we will find like Tesla batteries, which the Tesla batteries are like these round cylindrical batteries that look almost like a C battery, but a little bit longer. So yeah. What did it hit the thumbs up for? Yeah, people, please hit the thumbs up button. I think it's all good. So,
Okay, so I let's see.
So I think
I said this about the electric car.
Yeah, I think we. Yeah, I think
get
we.
the car from somewhere.
Yeah, I think we went through all this. All right, so yeah, we went through the whole thing. So I want to talk about the history.
Did you go through all this stuff?
I want to talk about the history of the Industrial Revolution, because we told people that we go through the history of the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we didn't do as good a job as we did yesterday. Who knows? But more people heard the message, I guess.
No, more people what?
More people heard the message. It's not the same people from yesterday.
Oh, George wasn't on last night?
How many of you guys was on yesterday? Well, I don't know why.
I have no idea. My mermaid fins, my white ones are kind of tight.
Yeah, so we're doing this whole video series for Earth Day. Basically, basically what we needed. What happened was in the beginning of I was always here. I'm
A
like
bad rash? Oh, jeez. You're irritating, eh?
no, you're not irritating. Please not be mean to our subscribers.
Well, I was just saying what he's basically saying that he is. Stop
What?
being goofy in a mean way.
Yeah.
I can make another face.
Yeah, hit the like button if you want to see Michelle make funny faces. There's more people watching the video than like the video, so if you want to see Michelle make funny faces, hit the like button. Then hit the like button. You got to make a funny face.
I wanted to be a mime walking around with a pony at one point before we met Eric.
Alright, so so the whole technology, so the people don't realize that, okay, so the reason that we are in this position that we are now, because the oil companies got a foothold over over the whole industry at the turn of the century, basically in the early 19th century, like, we discovered gasoline powered cars, right? We discovered not gasoline, but we discovered the internal combustion engine, right? At that time, it was ran on. We gotta back up even more than that. Okay, let's back up. Okay, so basically in the beginning of the century that we was using lamp oil, right? Oil to see anything, we had to burn lamps, right? So finally we started, instead of using well fat, we started converting our oil lamps to run on kerosene, right? Kerosene is a petroleum product that we was using to replace because we hit the peak of peak well, and there was no more wells. We killed 90% of all the wells, and we started to chop down 90% of all the forests on the United States, and so we needed to fit out a new fuel source to use, and we discovered petroleum. Petroleum, as a byproduct of the petroleum industry, we could make gasoline. Gasoline wasn't really widely used in our cars. Cars were first started being invented. Majority of transportation was actually electric power through trolleys. But they decided that the Rockefellers that owned most of the oil companies decided that they was going to pay the group of little old ladies that thought that it was a sin to drink alcohol and it should be outlawed. So therefore they're getting together with the women's suffrage movement, and
The women's what movement?
they call it the women's
Suffrage?
suffrage movement, yes. And the women's suffrage movement basically started in the 1920s, and basically the women is like when a priest said that alcohol is a sin and we should drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm. That's what they thought?
Well, that's what they believed. And which is probably is true. We should be drinking alcohol, but it should. But even they made the law against it, did not stop it. Right? It's in the end, it's our own decisions whether or not something needs to be done, and that's the whole thing that the whole technology. Right? We can make laws we in the end that we need to be at. That's why this video is so important, because in the end we don't want to need to be educated consumers on what we buy in order to be able to improve the markets, right? We can buy Tesla stocks, we can buy stocks, we can invest in companies, we can do all these things, but in it's our decisions where the technology go. And so we decide you know, when they legalize alcohol, which is number one used fuel in on cars, that's when the Rockefellers took hold of and then they pretty much started cutting down all the trees because they figured out a way to make paper from trees, and that's why they legalized hemp, and they legalized and then a way to make plastics and everything else. So yeah. So making plastics and making plastics are, you know, and then they legalize weed. They legalize weed as well, talking about, you know, overestimating the fact that weed is so bad. And another thing, the Rockefellers and DuPont Industry Company, they made products using oil to replace all the products that we made with hemp. And the entire industry changed literally overnight, right? So now we are desperately addicted to oil, and now we say that we can't change our industry because oil have such a big stronghold. But the fact that we change our entire industry to use oil overnight, not because we wanted to, but because of a law that was in place, and that's why. Look, yeah. So the law is very, you know. So that's why I feel like, you know. So it was a law that took in place to put you started using chemicals to destroy a plant, and was in completely war against nature, right? They started using, say the chemical manufacturers started making chemicals for war, and the same chemicals they use for war, they start selling as fertilizers, and the fertilizers, and they created pretty much a war against nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important for us to realize that we need to end the war against nature.
Mm-hmm.
And come together and make the world a better place, because yeah. So and that's the history of the. And so, you know, the beginning that we use alcohol, and alcohol is and always will be a better fuel than gasoline. But the fact is, the only reason we're not using it because of a questionable practice of the oil companies. So the fact that is oil, we use oil not because of the best, but it's because they made it the only option. But now we coming to find that there is more options, and there are companies that are able to break through. The oil companies like Tesla and other companies break through and creating other options. But we gotta be able to be sustainable for ourselves, and yeah. So yeah, would it mine be able to build like a digester unit for a community? Try to experiment with building these cars and stuff. I would be able to if you guys can help me by subscribing to my YouTube channel, so I can be successful enough so I can start experimenting with some of these technologies that I'm talking about. I want to be able to. My long-term goal is to build a farm as a way for educate people and learn and experiment and educate and on these technologies and because I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and I feel like I will have, place to actually be working on some of this stuff at one point or another. So, if you guys want to support me, please donate to my PayPal. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, help me any way you can. I'm sorry this video didn't get, but please share the video with your friends. I think people should know this type of stuff. And do you have fun?
I like hearing about the women's suffrage movement. I definitely cared about women's rights in the past.
Yeah.
Especially in the Mideast.
I don't know. I don't really know if the women's suffrage movement was about women's rights. It might have been.
Well, wait, what?
I don't know if the women's suffrage movement was mainly about women's rights. It might have been somewhat with that. I think what the women's rights movement didn't really happen until the 1960s.
But the women's suffrage movement was like so women could vote.
No, that was not until the 1960s. The women's suffrage movement was just saying that they didn't think men should be able to drink.
That's what the women's suffrage movement was about?
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah, women didn't have rights to vote until the 1960s. Okay.
Very interesting.
Michelle, go and look the women's suffrage movement up. So you don't. Yeah, it's confused.
It had its roots in the what the heck? I need to fix my computer. It had its roots. Okay, 1 second. In the abolition movement. After the Civil War, many abolitionists and women's rights activists parted ways over the question of female suffrage. The women's rights movement launched its own fashion craze. Okay, I should look that one up. A woman ran for political office nearly 50 years before women got to vote. The vote.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the things you may not know.
So it did have a little bit to do with women's rights. I didn't really know that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That it had a little to do with it, at least. Interesting things to know about the struggle for female suffrage. Huh.
What is it?
Well,
what else do you know about it?
Let's see. After the Civil War, many abolitionists and women's rights activists parted ways over the question of female suffrage. The women's rights movement launched its... Okay, well, I already said that. I would have to look up the fashion craze. Okay. Susan B. Anthony and 15 other women...
What I want to know is more information about the women's suffrage movement and the legalization of alcohol.
Okay.
Look that up. I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Women's suffrage movement.
Legalization of alcohol. Okay.
Okay. So.
What did you find about that?
Alcoholism and women's suffrage. Women in France did not have the right to vote until 1944. Oh, okay, women in France. Okay. Arguments for women's suffrage included the idea that France would be better. I don't know, is that okay if I'm talking about France? Able to fight its... Maybe I should say,
no, go
in
back.
the U.S.?
Go back.
Okay, I'll type in the U.S.
Yeah.
In the U.S. Wait, what? It says... I didn't even type in. in. Okay.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Here's our story up here. Why are you passing up all the stories?
Well, because I'm looking for something like alcohol.
Just put legalization of alcohol.
Okay.
What did it say?
Okay, the U.S. prohibition of alcohol.
What happened?
The legalized beer and wine with an alcohol content up to 3.2% by volume in April 1933. The second step was to pass the 21st Amendment to the Constitution with the words, "The 18th Article of Amendment to the Constitution of the U.S. is hereby repealed. Americans could once again drink legally."
Okay. Hey, or maybe Google how the prohibition got started. That's what we should do. How did prohibition get started in the United States? Okay, there you go.
1920, January 16th. It officially began, a full year after the ratification of the 18th Amendment. This amendment prohibited the sale, manufacture, and transportation of alcohol. Interestingly enough, it did not prohibit the consumption. What? Okay. It was not found.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Prohibition in the U.S.
I thought it had something to do with some type of women's separate movement. Somebody told me that. I don't
know who. So prohibition in the U.S. Nationwide constitutional ban on the production. Blah blah blah.
Okay. What did it say?
It was a nationwide constitutional ban on the production, importation,
Hey, what's up?
transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages from 1920 to 1933. First attempted to end the trade in alcoholic beverages. And wait, how does this tie in with the whole oil thing?
Because
they used it for oil, like for gas.
Yeah, people use
gas.
They use before oil. The myth is that they use oil. So the legend I heard that they use oil. They use alcohol instead of gasoline.
Okay.
So read more about it. So we're trying to fit out what it says on history books, which a lot of this information probably is like. You got anything to talk about the women's suffrage movement or why they started it? Yeah. I don't know. Well, let's get going. All right.
Well, maybe I can just stay here. I'm tired of eating chicken every day.
Okay. All right.